Hello guys, what is going on? SonOfChelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Breaking down the latest Chelsea news on a regular basis. I had to take a couple of days off making videos just to reflect after Tuesday, see more of the reaction and fallout to the European Super League and what happens next. I think that's a big question on many supporters' minds because, I don't think this is over. I don't think this week, despite it being, I think that there could be a tendency because the European Super League, the story breaking on Sunday afternoon, the announcement on Sunday evening, and by the time we reached Tuesday night, basically, by Chelsea kicking off against Brighton, it felt like, the European Super League collapsed. And it can be very easy because it happened in such a short space of time, people can forget about it, dismiss it, and just move on. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think it should happen, because I think more discussions need to be had surrounding this. I will have my preview out for West Ham, and I can't wait to do that preview. I can't wait to do my rational perspective tomorrow. I want to get back to discussing football on this channel, discussing the team, because I feel really sorry for Thomas Tuchel and his Chelsea players this week, because that Man City victory that was so good deserved more time to be spoken about, but the European Super League overshadowed it. And that Brighton game on Tuesday, I think myself and many others, that sort of passed us by because, of course, the European Super League, what happened on Tuesday was bigger than that result. So for those players, for what Tuchel has done, the brilliant job he's done so far, we've got the Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid. Yes, that is happening. And of course, the rest of the Premier League season to contend with. So getting back to supporting those players, all about doing that and really focusing in on that for the rest of the season. Hopefully can be a positive one. But before we get into today's episode, which will just sort of be a post-mortem, a reflection on the last couple of days, I'm going to get back to speaking about transfer news and other news around Chelsea, maybe tomorrow or Sunday, because I think just for now, we still need to talk about this. It is such a big story that you guys, I'm sure, have been reacting to as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads on the channel as we reach the conclusion to the crazy 2020-21 season. Also, if you enjoy the content and want to see more of it, hit that like button because it helps out the channel as well. And I also want to say a massive thank you to my sponsor, Lucid FC, for supporting Let's Talk Chelsea in 2021, an authentic brand that cares about its customers and designs. You can follow Lucid FC on Twitter and Instagram at Lucid FC. I've currently got one of their t-shirts on here, the Lucid t-shirt long sleeve, which is brilliant at this time of the year as we're sort of going from spring to summer. The weather in the UK is finally turning a little bit nicer. I mean, there's some reports we could be having a heat wave in the UK today, so this is a great t-shirt for this time of year. Also, guys, working with the channel, they're Chelsea fans, not just for money, not just for monetization. They love the club, and of course they were very interested in what was going on this week, absolutely against the European Super League. I'm going to have some cool collaborations with Lucid FC, and from today, a permanent discount code you guys can use as my followers for the partnership, and allow you guys to use it anytime with orders from Lucid FC using the discount code CFC, $15 off or £12 discount at checkout. So go in the link below, check out Lucid FC, support the guys who support this channel, Chelsea fans as well. Thank you, Lucid, for sponsoring Let's Talk Chelsea in 2021. There's so many things to get into, and as I was saying the other day, so many things, the fallout and sort of the reaction to it. I mean, just going away from Chelsea, there's protests at Arsenal tonight before their game against Everton. I feel, we've seen the protests from Man United fans at Carrington as well against the Glazers. So there is going to be more fallout from this. I think if you're expecting this to just be swept under the rug basically and forgotten about in terms of the ownership and sort of rebuilding that trust, in particular Chelsea, the hierarchy, rebuilding their trust with Chelsea supporters, that needs to happen. That is not just going to be swept under the rug. The fans will support the team, they'll support the players, they'll support the manager, as they absolutely always have done and will do, because we're Chelsea fans, and we will be ecstatic if we win tomorrow against West Ham. I think there needs to be an appreciation that this can't be forgotten about just quickly, just because Chelsea were one of the clubs reportedly to withdraw. They still did it. Florentino Perez, who's come across to me like a comic book villain this week, a badly written comic book villain. Some of the things he said, in particular about Chelsea fans, as you can see here from Fabrizio Romano, claiming that there were 40 people outside Stamford Bridge, and if you want, I will tell you who took them there. Sort of a conspiracy theorist, basically. Perez, he's claiming that Apparently La Liga brought all of us Chelsea fans to the bridge, only 40 of us, which, clearly he needs to go back into maths and learn a bit more. I did get my check in the mail from La Liga headquarters on Wednesday morning, so thanks for that, La Liga, for paying me to be outside Stamford Bridge to support Chelsea and reject the European Super League. Just crazy stuff, and the more he's spoken, the more it sounded more comical and ridiculous how out of touch this guy is, acting like he's the good guy in this situation. That's not to say, as I said in my Monday video, I think, UEFA, FIFA, the FA, the Premier League, that there are still problems within football, and I think there have been disingenuous arguments made that fans are sort of backing UEFA and FIFA over Chelsea. Absolute nonsense. It really is, and I think Tuesday showed you that there are still problems within the game, like the new Champions League format that has been passed through this week, that will have opposition to it. It's not that the game is perfect and back to normal now, but it just shows you how depressing this, European Super League, concept was, and how out of touch guys like Perez are, who Chelsea fans and many other fans fought against and just completely reject. The statement from Chelsea that came out on, Tuesday, early Wednesday morning, actually, in the UK, about 1 a.m. time, that, has annoyed a lot of people, and the feeling that there wasn't enough substance to it. There was no apology from it. I mean, we have got reports from the Chelsea supporters group. They released a statement last night that they have had communication with the club and they've apologised sort of through there, but no official communication from the club and a statement. I think there have been reports, as Matt Law talked about, why Roman pulled out and turned his back on Chelsea's European Super League alliance. Does that excuse Chelsea? And I don't really buy that as an argument, to be honest. Was it just a badly thought out idea? They were scared of being left behind. It was going ahead. They felt it was going ahead. It was going ahead. This wasn't just a ploy to get more power from UEFA in the Champions League. This was actually a big decision that was going to go ahead, and how serious it was, and they did not want to be left behind. But I do wonder, in the case of Roman Abramovich, is he being really poorly advised? Because that's what it feels like to me. I think that I still can't excuse that. I still cannot just forget about that and take that as an excuse. And as I say, it's about rebuilding trust now, because you still decided to do that. If Chelsea were unsure about this in, the concept of it, and unsure about what it meant for the game, they still put their reputation on the line here. They still threaten their ability, Roman's ability, his reputation with Chelsea supporters across the world, all the brilliant stuff he's done in transforming this club. He put that on the line. He put 116 years of history on the line by going ahead and signing up to the Super League. So that's why you should not be surprised that supporters from these 6 clubs are not forgetting about this anytime soon, even if their clubs start winning on the pitch again. I've been amazed by the comments from you guys joining the Supporters Trust and getting involved. There's an emergency meeting tomorrow for voting members. I'm sure going to be discussing the European Super League, and that's how important this is. Their statement, which is up on screen now, just saying Chelsea Supporters Trust is appalled with the tone and insincerity of the statement issued by Chelsea. We request a full and in-depth explanation as to why the board took the decision to turn their back on the European competition, and for CFC to explain why they signed up to the Super League without prior consultation with their loyal supporters. We are disappointed with an apology that has not been included in the statement. The legacy of our club was put at risk for what appears to have solely been for financial gain. The likes of Dominic Fifield have said there's going to be no big changes at Chelsea in terms of board level currently. That may change within time. That may change with more pressure. I think the more just general point is that, to me, I think this has been such a big week. It has been positive. The feeling amongst Chelsea supporters outside Stamford Bridge, the feeling on social media, I mean, that was one of the most positive things, I think, for me on Monday and Tuesday, was unity finally on social media with Chelsea fans. There's been so much civil war, as you'd call it, in recent years around players and managers, and it was nice for once fans across the world. And that's something I want to point out as well. It was not just local based supporters against the European Super League. Fans across the world who love Chelsea were against this. So I want to make that abundantly clear as well. And that shows you the strong feeling across the world against this. That Chelsea supporters of other teams as well. That was the amazing thing on Tuesday too, being outside Stamford Bridge. I saw supporters of Man United, I saw West Ham supporters, I saw Aston Villa supporters, I saw Everton supporters. I think, have I already mentioned Everton? Arsenal supporters as well. People across football came together to be against this. That's positive. But as I said in my video on Tuesday, that doesn't mean that we can just forget about it now and move on. I think there are things that still need to be done. Questions need to be asked about the decision making at the top level of Chelsea Football Club and what that means for the future. Of course, every Chelsea fan is grateful to Roman Abramovich, but every owner of these clubs is custodians. They are custodians of the club, and a decision they made to go forward with this should not be forgotten and should not be taken lightly. And there needs to be, I think, more transparency transparency. I think there needs to be more pressure and just questions, harsh questions asked of the Chelsea board of why they went through with this in the first place. Because Chelsea fans, supporters, even as we get hopefully close to the end of the pandemic in the UK, still had to go out on Tuesday night and protest. We shouldn't have to do that. The fact that he didn't consult supporters in the first place, because I think they very well knew what the reaction would have been, was disgraceful, and it still is disgraceful, even though Chelsea withdrew. I want to hear your thoughts, guys, because I think a lot of fans, fans will have different emotions around this. I think some, will still feel very harshly towards the board. Others can understand that it was sort of a rash decision that they withdrew with, and Chelsea weren't one of the big cheerleaders of this, which I can understand from a perspective. But I think across the board, I think there is a consideration, I think, from a wide majority of fans that it's good that we're out of the European Super League, that it isn't going forward for the betterment of the English game. But we can't just forget about this. I think there still needs to be discussions around this. So please give me your extensive thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I've got my preview coming out for West Ham. We're getting back to speaking about football. I'm speaking about tactics, my lineup. So please stay tuned for that later today. Also reacting to comments from Thomas Tuchel as we go into what is the biggest game of our Premier League season so far, away to West Ham tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.